What if everything you were taught about money was designed not to help you, but to keep you working? Not by accident, not through neglect, by design. Think about what you were taught growing up. Get a good education, find a stable job, work hard, spend your money on things that signal success, a house, a car, the right neighborhood, the right lifestyle. Save a little, hope for the best, trust that the system will reward loyalty with security. Now, think about who benefits from that advice. The bank that holds your mortgage benefits. The car company that finances your vehicle benefits. The credit card company collecting interest on your balance benefits. The retailer selling you the lifestyle benefits. The employer who needs you to show up Monday morning because you cannot afford not to benefits. You were not given a financial education, you were given a spending education. And the difference between those two things is the difference between freedom and a lifetime of working for other people's profits. This is not a conspiracy theory. It is a business model. And understanding it clearly, honestly, without flinching, is the first step to escaping it. Let me tell you about a woman named Diane. Diane did everything right, everything society told her to do. She got her degree. She found a good job. She bought a home in a decent neighborhood. She drove a reliable car. She dressed appropriately for her career. She took her family on a vacation every year. She contributed a small amount to her retirement account when she could. She lived, by every visible measure, a responsible and successful life. At 58, Diane sat down to seriously think about retirement for the first time. The numbers didn't work. Her mortgage still had 9 years left. Her retirement account, after decades of modest contributions interrupted by life events, had about $90,000. Her monthly expenses were structured around two incomes, hers and her husband's, and neither could stop without significantly disrupting everything they had built. Diane wasn't irresponsible. She wasn't lazy. She was a textbook example of a person who followed the script perfectly and discovered at 58 that the script was never written for her benefit. It was written for the benefit of everyone who sold her something along the way. Here is what the system actually looks like when you step back and see it clearly. From the moment you enter adulthood, the financial system is structured to capture as much of your income as possible before you have a chance to build anything with it. Student loans capture your income before your career even begins. Mortgages capture the largest portion of your monthly income for 30 years. Car payments capture another significant slice. Consumer debt fills in the gaps. Subscription services, insurance premiums, lifestyle maintenance, all of it designed to ensure that the gap between what you earn and what you keep is as small as possible. And the system does this not through force, but through normalization. Because everyone around you is doing the same thing. Because the lifestyle that requires all of this spending has been carefully marketed as the definition of success. Because questioning it feels radical or ungrateful or unrealistic. The system doesn't need to force you to stay on the treadmill. It just needs to make the treadmill feel like home. The psychological tools the system uses are sophisticated and largely invisible. The first is social proof. When everyone around you is taking on a mortgage, financing a car, and carrying a credit card balance, these behaviors feel normal and safe. The system doesn't need to convince you individually. It just needs enough people doing it that it feels like the obvious and correct thing to do. The second is identity marketing. The products you buy are not sold to you as products, they are sold as identity. The car doesn't just get you from point A to point B, it says something about who you are. The neighborhood isn't just where you sleep, it signals your status. When spending becomes identity, reducing it feels like a threat to who you are, not just to your budget. The third is complexity as a barrier. Financial systems, investing, tax strategy, retirement planning are genuinely complex. And that complexity serves the institutions that profit from your confusion. When investing feels too complicated to understand, you don't invest. When retirement planning feels overwhelming, you avoid it. The complexity isn't accidental. It keeps money in the system and out of your hands. The consequence of a lifetime inside this system is what we see all around us. People in their 50s and 60s who are financially trapped, not because they failed, but because the system they trusted captured most of what they earned and gave them lifestyle in return instead of freedom. People working jobs they no longer want, in bodies that are beginning to struggle, because the financial foundation that would have allowed them to stop was never built, because every dollar that could have built it was redirected somewhere else first. And the cruelest part is that from the outside, these people look fine. The house is there, the car is there, the lifestyle markers are all in place. The system made sure of that. What the system didn't build, what it was never designed to build, was the financial independence that would have made all of it optional rather than obligatory. Diane looks successful. Diane is trapped, and Diane is not alone. Here is the hidden truth that changes everything. The system will never tell you how to escape it, because your escape is its loss. Every dollar you redirect from debt payments to investments is a dollar leaving the financial system's profit pool. Every month you reduce your lifestyle expenses is a month you are less dependent on the employment income the system needs you to need. Every step toward financial independence is a step away from the system's influence. The people who escape, and they exist, do so not by working harder within the system, but by understanding the system clearly enough to build something outside of it. They redirect money before the system can capture it. They build assets instead of acquiring liabilities. They measure success not by what they show, but by how long they could survive without needing to work. That last measure is called financial runway. And most people, if they calculated it honestly, would discover their financial runway is measured in weeks, not years. The system designed it that way, but you don't have to stay in it. So what does escaping actually look like? First, see every financial product for what it is. A mortgage is not just a house, it is 30 years of income committed to a bank. A car payment is not just a vehicle, it is monthly income redirected away from your future. A credit card balance is not just convenience, it is a claim on your future earnings at high interest. Seeing these things clearly, without the identity marketing attached to them, is the beginning of making different choices. Second, build financial runway deliberately. The goal is not to be rich. The goal is to have enough saved and invested that you could survive without working for an extended period. Start with 3 months, build to 6, then a year, then several years. Every step of the runway you build is a step of freedom the system cannot take from you. Third, redirect income before the system captures it. Automatic retirement contributions, automatic investment transfers, automatic savings. Every dollar that moves before you see it is a dollar that escapes the spending cycle the system is designed to create. Fourth, reduce the lifestyle that requires the income. Every expense you eliminate is not just money saved, it is income you no longer need, which is income you no longer have to earn, which is freedom you no longer have to buy, back one paycheck at a time. Fifth, invest in assets that generate income without your labor. The system wants you trading time for money forever. The escape from that trade is ownership of property, of investments, of anything that pays you whether you show up or not. Diane is still working on her escape. At 58, the runway is shorter than she would like, but she can see the system now, clearly, without the marketing attached to it, and that clarity has changed everything about how she makes decisions. She is not trying to beat the system. She is trying to step outside of it, one redirected dollar, one eliminated expense, one added income stream at a time. The system was never designed to free you, but you were never told you had a choice about staying in it. Now you know. And knowing, really knowing, not just intellectually, but in the way that changes behavior, is where every escape begins.